Welcome to this video series for home health agencies. We will be discussing OASIS, which is the outcome and assessment item set for CMS submissions. As always, if you need more information than this short video can provide, please go to the OASIS manual in the current edition on www.cms.gov. Today we will be talking about an interesting topic, reasons to not file an OASIS assessment. There are many reasons to file a transfer or a discharge in OASIS, but first it is worth remembering that there are reasons to not file a specific discharge. Remember, not everyone that stays overnight in a hospital is officially admitted. Some are kept simply for clinical observations, and they can be kept for several days. So it can be very hard to tell which category this particular visit is in. When you hear that someone has left their home for a hospital visit, your facility should have established communication protocols with local hospitals to determine what is going on. This can be difficult in an urban area where the client could have gone to any of several hospitals. Solving that communication issue is beyond the scope of this video. But somehow you need to find out which situation is happening because an OASIS is not submitted if there is no actual hospital admission. If the patient's feet go into the door of an emergency room, there is not automatically a transfer needed. That patient, again, may not be formally admitted. It is never wrong to open an OASIS and get as much information as possible until you know if that person is actually admitted. In that case, you have an understanding with your software that you can delete the file at some future date without submitting if the person is not formally admitted. Or perhaps you will need to change the file type to M100 equals 5, other follow-up, if the observation produced an important change in the physician's orders and/or the care plan. Another reason to not file an OASIS discharge is that some people go on family visits and might leave their home or your service area for a week or two. This could cause you to miss some visits, but does not automatically require a transfer or a discharge. It gets a bit tricky if they are gone over the research period. Then it is a bit harder to know. But if the research is late for a few days, there is no need to discharge and readmit. If the research is really late, and the definition of really has not been established, it is best to contact your state OASIS coordinator for guidance. Another reason to not do a discharge is that a transfer has already been completed. If you have a person you already submitted a transfer OASIS on, in other words, MU100 equals 6, transfer not discharged, or MU100 equals 7, transfer with a discharge, then it is never necessary to file a second OASIS discharge, which would be MU100 equals 9, discharge. Your software might request a discharge for its bookkeeping, but OASIS does not. Remember, it is never wrong to open an OASIS and get as much information as possible recorded. It might be that that information will be requested later by another insurer. It is also possible that the hospital will change its mind on whether this was an admission or an observation. Just remember to think again before pressing the export button. Not every OASIS that is documented needs to be transferred to the federal ASAP database. We will cover the reasons to go ahead and submit an OASIS transfer or a discharge on another video. Thank you for your interest in OASIS and for watching this video. Always, you can get more information on OASIS by going to the www.cms.gov website for the most recent OASIS manual. There's also a list of the OASIS coordinators on that website, which is a great reference for further information. Thank you so much for your time.